Hello my friends, welcome to lesson 77 in the All Four Strings violin playing course. And in this lesson today we are playing the French folk song, which you can find on page 42 in your book, and this is number 163. Now in this lesson we're going to be thinking about two things. The first one is how you count the notes as they're written in this song. And the second one is we're going to add some louds and softs. And this will add to the expressiveness of your playing. And you may recall, if you followed the previous lesson as well, that we're trying to make your music more individual and more musical. And we're going to, this time, add some more individuality by playing some louds and softs. And I'll explain to you later on exactly how you get your playing louder and softer. And what you can do on your violin to achieve that. But let's get started counting this piece, because this is a more advanced piece in a way of counting, and you have practiced some counting all along this course, so I have no doubt that you will be able to tackle this one as well. We know from looking at the time signature here that we've got 3 quarter notes in one bar. In England we call it 3 crotchet notes in one bar. So my counting is going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But whenever you see 8th notes, or quavers as they're called in England, you say the word "and" to your beat. So we might get 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. And knowing how to count this through will make your playing much, much better. So here we go, let's give it a go. I'll count us in for 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. And I think once you get into a habit of counting like that, it's not as complicated as it looks. It's just that first step of actually getting yourself to count it. That is the hard part. And you've done it. So well done. You've already done the hardest part of this video. Superb. Now let's get our violins and let's see if we can play while we count. Now in this piece we've got low second fingers both on the D string and on the A string, and I'll count us in for 3. 1, 2, 3 and... Let's hold it here a moment. And you will have noticed that little ledge between bars 1 and 2. And that is not a slur. It is namely a little angled edge. And that means you have your fingers together. You have your first and second fingers together here because the second finger is a C. I've said to you before, the second fingers are all low, and this is your first example where your first and second fingers are together. So if you know that already, you might ignore those little ledges. There are a few more to come later on in the piece because that's all that they mean to be. So let's get started one more time from the beginning, and I'd like you to really try to count in your head while you play. 1, 2, 3 and... Now retake the bow. Retake the bow again. Retake the bow again. notice here at the end I use the fourth finger for the D so that I stay on the G string for a nice warm sounding end here. Really well done if you managed to count all along throughout this piece. And if you weren't quite managing today, you might try and count a little bit each day so that that gradually becomes second nature for you. And you will find that after a couple of days you can play an X number of bars, and then a week later you might add 2 more bars to your counting, and that way you can feel the progress. So do keep on trying, because it will be helpful for your later progress if you make this a habit at this stage. We said earlier on that in this lesson we're also going to work on louds and softs, and if you have a look at the grid at the top of your page, you will have noticed that it says F stands for forte, and if you look underneath your first note in your book, there is the letter F, and that means play this section loud, and you keep on playing loud until you see the next marker, which you can find in bar 9. And there you see the letter P, and P stands for piano, and piano means soft. And then towards the end of this line, the second line, you see the letters MF, and MF is mezzo forte, which means medium loud. So that is a little bit louder than the piano, the soft playing that you did a little bit earlier. And it is a little bit softer than how you started, because you started forte. Okay, so medium loud, mezzo forte. Then halfway along the last line of this piece, you see the letter F again, and that's where you play loud. Now, in other videos, which you may have watched, we were talking about the meaning of loud and soft and how you create the difference in volume on your violin. When you play loud, you can do 3 things. One is you use more bow. Secondly, is you come closer to the bridge. So if I want to play super loud, my bow comes nearer the bridge, which is this wooden thing here. So come closer for loud playing and go a little bit further away for softer playing. And the third way, which you will do automatically as a result of methods number 1 and 2, is you press a little bit harder on the bow. I shouldn't really be saying press a little bit harder. What I should be saying is let your arm lean into the string a little bit more. But if you use more bow and you come closer to the bridge, you will automatically put more weight into the bow to control the bow. So these are the 3 different things that you can do, and you do the exact opposite when you want to play softer. So you go and use less bow. So instead of playing a generous upper half of the bow, you might go and use only this amount of bow. Then when you want to play softer, you might want to move the bow towards the fingerboard and take the pressure off the bow a little bit. And you can change these variables so that you can create different qualities in your louder and softer playing. And that will develop over time. So at this moment, I want you to aim to play at your loudest when you see the forte and at your softest when you see the piano marking, and just play in your default setting, your general way of playing, when it says mezzo forte. So let's give that a go. I'm going to start with fairly long bows, and I'm going to come really close to the bridge. 1, 2, 3, and... Place the bow a little bit nearer the fingerboard and use distinctly shorter bows. Now use a little bit more bow and go in the middle between the fingerboard and the bridge. We're back to our full bow playing, and we're coming closer to the bridge with our bow, and is amazing playing, really well done for being more expressive with your playing. And those of you who've commented earlier on in the course of these lessons, oh, I'm so glad you tell me about bow division. That has gone completely differently now, hasn't it? So I'd like you to let me know how that works for you when you use longer bows and shorter bows. So please write into the comments section below if you find this a bit different from how you'd normally play. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like it. And what that does is it shows YouTube that people are appreciating the content that I create, and therefore they will show the content to more people. So I really appreciate it if you could do that. Thank you so much. I very much look forward to seeing you in our next lesson, which will be Sur le Pont d'Avignon, and that will be number 164. Until then, goodbye.